Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marriage Be Hard Conversations podcast. I am Melissa.
I am Kevin Fredericks.
And today, our special guests are J-Rod and Kristen Tanner. They are the hosts of the And Then We Had Sex podcast.
Hey,
Welcome.
What's up? How y'all doing?
Welcome. Well, glad to have you guys. Quick little story. J-Rod and Kristen pulled up to our Virginia Beach show years ago.
Yeah.
Before y'all podcast, right?
Yes.
No,
No.
the podcast we had started for maybe a year or two.
Yeah.
Okay. But had y'all went crazy viral then or no?
Nah.
No.
Okay. So they had the podcast, but I wasn't aware of it just yet. So I remember they went viral for this sneaky link video. Let's just let the audience know.
Ever had a sneaky link?
If anything, you was for a while. What? You know how many was surprised when we got engaged? Like, I didn't even know they was
I was your sneaky link?
basically. I was not telling you I was you.
Can you really marry the sneaky link?
I did.
Wow.
Do you realize how many people were surprised? Are you kidding me? When we got engaged, people were like, when did that happen?
I didn't know I was a sneaky link, though.
You thought that I advertised you?
All right, so I remember watching it on Twitter, and y'all were getting obliterated.
Oh.
And I was like, man, they look familiar.
Was it y'all or me?
I wanted to help y'all. I wanted to help you.
Nah, they hated her.
Yeah, they were going crazy on you,
Yeah.
Kristen. So, and I was like, they pulled up to the show.
No.
So I'm always curious, as a person who's been drug on the internet, what was it like to go crazy viral and then to see the response? Because it wasn't all bad. Right?
First of all, I get mad because the hilarious clips never go viral. I was like, this one out of all of them, they think that I hate him. And like, it was literally a joke. Like, most people don't know, like, I do comedy, so I'm sarcastic all the time.
Yeah.
And when that one went crazy, like, you didn't defend me at all.
At all. I was saying out of it. I seen what the internet do.
He was like,
I'm
nah.
good.
He was like, more people watching. I don't care if they hate you, they watching. I was like, oh. It was weird. First of all, we was talking about how we didn't know World Star was a thing.
Yeah.
The comments in World Star, whoever is visiting, like I stopped getting offended because I was like,
Yeah.
they are on World
Yeah.
Star. I
Somebody
don't care.
actually said, do not go to World Star.
Oh,
No.
World Star's terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
World
was
Star's
it was
terrible.
bad.
World
didn't
Star's
know.
the bad place. It's the part Mufasa was pointing to in Lion King. Like,
We had no
I
idea.
didn't. You don't. It's nothing positive ever. Even positive videos over there, the comments are
Well, the
terrible.
culture of world Star is not to be encouraging
Oh,
and
of course.
uplifting
Right.
and inspiring.
Exactly.
It's to tear you down. Well, I think as someone that will watch, or people that have watched a clip go viral but maybe didn't go back and watch the podcast, can you provide context to the clip? What did you mean? What did you intend? Because that's really,
Okay.
that's usually
Or was it-
what's missed.
I don't know. What did I mean?
She meant what she said.
I'm
No.
not saying, or was it?
Very cut and dry. But
No, we were talking about the term sneaky link, and I
Right.
was like, I feel like I'm too old. I don't understand it no more. I think it's different. And I said, maybe you were because I didn't tell anybody that we were
Right.
interacting in any kind of way because I don't want to associate with hoes. So that was something that happened with us, right? And then I said, that's probably what you are. And you agree.
The
So the
hoe or the
realization-
sneaky link? I'm confused.
No, both
Both.
of those. He was both.
Both.
He was
Okay.
both
Oh,
of
he
those.
was the hoe.
No,
yeah,
it was him.
oh man, big hoe.
You was hoeing out there, J-Rod, in the 7 cities.
Listen,
From Hampton Roads to...
not just there. No,
Norfolk?
we had to do the whole.
He traveled.
Oh yeah.
You went up to Richmond?
Trap.
Elizabeth City, North Carolina? You was all through the Commonwealth?
Man, I was all through the country.
The country?
I was out here. I was
Multiple
out
countries.
here having fun. Multiple
Out
countries,
here.
yes.
Travel.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Nothing to show for it.
That may be a good thing.
All right, you're right. You're
If you
right.
didn't pick up nothing along the way,
You're right.
I would venture to say that's a win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah, but it was mostly a joke. It was a joke.
Yeah.
So you guys, and that's just one of their clips. You go back, they have had a lot of clips go viral, but you also have built an audience off of that.
Yes.
Like you guys' podcast, I think has over 200,000 subscribers followers on Instagram.
On Instagram, and then the sneaky link clip actually went viral on his Facebook for some reason.
Oh, really?
So
Yeah.
he's got like 452,000 followers on his. I've got like 10. Nobody comes to follow me. But,
Are they
yeah.
defending you on Facebook? Like, I'm gonna be there for you, J-Rod?
Listen, it's crazy. Sometimes you have the guys like, oh, you got to stick up for yourself, and then you got other people saying, you know what? I feel you, brother.
Right.
I feel you. You got to deal with a lot over there.
Nah,
I'm like,
he always be acting hurt. I don't like it.
So did y'all have any residual impact from does it ever affect you guys in your real marriage, like people's comments or anything, or are you just able to put it to the side?
Oh, in the beginning, I was I was all in the comments. I was responding to everybody. I was like, no, she needs to know that this is wrong.
The next
This is not what
episode that
happened.
we did was called "Stay Out the Comments," Kristen.
Because everybody that listened was like, Kristen, stay out of the comments. And I was like, but I don't have nothing to do right now. And I want to read. So I was in everything. But once I realized that the people that actually invest time in like listening to the podcast didn't care,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
I'll leave it
So
alone.
my question is, obviously we're public in the
Yeah.
public eye as
Yeah.
well. I've done a better job of not letting the comments bother, but in the beginning it is very difficult.
Yeah.
Like you're all up in through them comments, okay?
Yeah.
You want to correct everybody and provide, context, like I just said.
Exactly.
How long have you been doing the podcast?
Little over 5 years now.
Okay, okay, so that's a while. How do you get to a point where, or what was your process? What can you offer people that's like, this is how we were able to eliminate the critique from other people's opinions onto our marriage? That's really what it's about. Everybody's not going to be a public figure. Everybody's not going to get comments.
Yeah.
But you're going to hear your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your best friend, and you're going to take that into your relationship.
I think we started out like that. Like we didn't really care about other people's comments on us.
We're just very open in general. Like a lot of stuff doesn't bother us. But also we didn't have like thousands of people watching. So
yeah,
I didn't know how it could affect us. But we're very open with each other anyway. So it was like it didn't really. I don't know how to explain it.
I mean, so when we started doing the podcast, what we would do is have a bunch of friends come over, and they would be our studio audience per se, and we would just get a couple of drinks in us, and we would just start talking, and our friends would say things in the background, and they would comment, and I think that got us real comfortable with hearing from other people,
Yeah.
and
Got it.
how at real time how you feeling about things, because we're never censoring ourselves and our thoughts on how we feel about whatever topic that we're talking about. So with them giving us that feedback, it was like, oh, okay, we can do this. And I think when
Could not do
everything
this.
started ramping up, it took her a minute. It took her about a week and a half.
I was like, I don't even know you. Why are you like, yeah. So it was difficult.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back all the way to the beginning. Tell us you guys' love story.
You want to start with that, or you want me to?
Now you got it. I want to
say
see.
what
I want to see
actually
what you're going to say.
So,
That didn't happen.
he was doing a sketch comedy show, like locally, and he needed a comic because it wasn't good. So somebody recommended
Whoa.
that he work with me. And at the time, I was in a relationship. So I went in just very like, I'm here to work. I'm here to do whatever. And he tried to jeopardize my relationship.
Never did that.
And we didn't.
Jeopardized her own relationship. She was in the relationship, not me.
And we worked together. And then we didn't speak for like a year and some change.
Yeah,
I was
maybe longer.
avoiding him
Maybe longer.
on purpose.
Nothing happened, or on purpose? Why?
Because she liked me and she didn't want to mess up her
That's
relationship.
not what happened.
Erica Badu, I'm in a situation right now. But I'm in a situation.
My boyfriend at the time did not like him at all, and I felt like he
Seems
was
like
playing.
he was correct.
Yeah, right. I think he played into that though. Like I don't know. Like he always wanted to have meetings for this job that didn't ever pan out. Like he just all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, no, it's work. I'm going, but I didn't know he was like plotting. And then we didn't speak for like a year. Like I just avoided. I didn't see him. I didn't speak to him. And then he had a party for your book.
Yeah.
He had a book release party, and I showed up because comics after shows. You want to find somewhere to go, and I was in charge of taking whoever was in town that night to an outing, and it happened to be at his party, and I didn't know. And then that day he kind of apologized, and we literally just started talking.
Yeah, kicking it every day ever since.
We have not been apart since then. It has been, it's nice. But yeah.
So
yeah.
how long ago?
Yeah.
How long y'all been married?
Why you don't never know how long we've been married?
Because it feels like eternity.
We've only
baby.
been married 5 years.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Oh, so y'all started the
Podcast
podcast.
at the same time.
Yeah.
No, we've been married 6 years then.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She doesn't know. She doesn't know. We've been
I barely know
married
how
about
old my
6.
kids are. It's a lot. So yeah, it was a little after we got married. We got legally married, and then we had our wedding during podcast time. Yeah. So yeah, it's about 7 years that we
Been together. Yeah.
been together.
Y'all realize this number just grew 5, 6, and 7.
We've been together 7.
Yeah.
Oh,
Been
I
together
see.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm not good with numbers.
Let's take a break right here and hear from our podcast sponsors.
Back from the break. Thank you so much to our sponsor. So, J-Rod, what's your version? Because I'm sure that's more likely to be the truth.
Yeah, you know,
Not that's more likely to be the truth.
Melissa's love story is wrong.
It's wrong.
I pursue her, so I know what the story is. So I
Right.
know J-Rod, you were the pursuer. I know yours
Listen.
is correct. We got to have hers for balance, but we want to hear yours as the truth.
right. You know, so she started it out pretty well. You know, we met through a mutual friend. I was doing this a show at the time. But she always thinks that for some reason I was trying to manipulate her relationship or sabotaging in some kind of way. No, I was there trying to be a nice gentleman. And I was trying to show her that there are some nice guys out here. Sucks that your man's not one of them. You know,
Oh!
He was nice though.
he wasn't me. So,
Hey!
you know,
I'm him.
and I did that in a non-hater way. I just
Is
stayed
there a way
her,
to do that in a
yeah,
non-hater way?
just stay their friend. Just their friend.
Oh, so you never said any of this stuff?
No, never.
See,
Never.
I got
was
tricked.
there and
Yeah,
I let her
he
know who I
redshirted
was.
you.
Yeah, I literally got
No,
tricked.
it's
You
okay,
explaining
baby.
it
You
right
here
now.
now.
You
You
don't have
here.
to touch me.
That's called you
are
red
here.
shirted.
Red shirting is hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I lost contact for a while. She probably just lost my number for a while.
I had it, I
and
just didn't use it. No, it's fine. Go ahead. It's your story.
and when we did get back together, it was like it was amazing. It was amazing. I was at a place in my life where I was ready to start.
Stop horn. Ready to settle it down.
How much sex were you having,
Man,
J-Rod?
he was out here. Go
Listen.
ahead. It's your story.
Listen,
J-Rod, what were you doing in the world?
listen.
The world.
The world. It was the world.
And this is public knowledge.
This is public knowledge.
He don't even hide from this part.
No,
This part he
no.
owns 1,000%. Oh, I was out there peeing in vagine.
Yeah, man. I listen. It was bad. It was bad. I wasn't the best guy. And I wanted to change that, honestly. And when I met her, it was at that change, really. It was at that change. I was just at some crossroads in my life that I needed to make solid. And I did that. And she was there that whole time. She didn't judge me for anything in my past. She didn't judge me for how I was moving for my future.
Yeah.
And we just connected, and it was just a special thing. And it was, in the beginning, it was the same as when we reconnected. It was a friendship there. The thing that made it, easy for us to talk, or because the reason she thinks that I was trying to sabotage, because we really did build a good friendship in that small amount of time. And when we got back together, that was the same thing. We was just talking all the time, hours out of the day, just being with each other and learning each other. That's why, while many people think that we move really fast in our relationship, there was a lot of hours put into that, like hours spent together, hours spent away from each other, but still talking to each other.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of hours put in. You all right?
Nah, that was me saying, all right, you know.
You guys are quite hysterical and very sarcastic to one another. I have to ask this question because I'm not one of those people that I don't always do sarcasm well. My son is very sarcastic, and sometimes I'd be like, so now listen.
It's gonna be a problem for real though.
You got but one good time.
Yeah.
And the next time I'm gonna knock your teeth out your
They
mouth.
say your kids take some of your personality parts further.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sarcastic, but I'd be like, all right, bro, now for real. Be for real, bro.
I wouldn't
I'm
even
not
say that.
playing,
Yes.
I'm not playing right. He don't know when people aren't playing.
Exactly.
You're not playing right now.
Everything's a game, and I'm gonna knock your teeth out.
Ain't nobody playing but you, Smokey. You think it's a game. Ain't nobody playing but you, Smokey.
For real though. So my
terrible.
question is, this is kind of the marriage be hard part. A little bit of communication sometimes be hard.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever take it too far? is the sarcasm ever not funny or not received? Like today is just not the day.
That's a good question.
I don't know. That's a question for you because I always take it too far.
Yeah, she always like.
I don't know how to not take it far. I don't know how to. I don't know the line.
Honestly, no, and that's because I think that makes everything approachable. Because it is always met with a joke or some sarcasm. So we can talk about anything, and if we get too heated in some kind of way, joke to kind of even the
And I
playing
know that
field.
don't work for everybody, but it's just the way that I communicate. And I think because we understand each other so much, it's like, I don't know.
It's a nervous
easier.
tick
Well,
sometimes.
listen, I think sometimes people.
If it works for you guys.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
People don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
a relationship only has to work for the people in it.
Yeah.
100%.
It doesn't have
Yeah.
to work. Even I'm a comic, and
Exactly.
she's married to a comic just like you are. I don't. There's jokes that I could do where it's like I'm not one of your comic friends, right? And I can't be like, well, other comic. Well, that's them,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that's y'all. And I think people, and that's what happens online a lot of times.
That's why.
People see themselves in a relationship they're not in, and they wouldn't like it, or they would be hurt or frustrated,
Or
The
they
good thing is-
project how they would feel.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's why I
Yes.
said this is how I would do. How does it work for you guys? Because a lot of people, they would assume that like, that's why you, he's miserable.
right?
He's this. And you're like, no, he's cool.
No, everybody wants him to leave me. Everybody. Oh my gosh. Like, please get out, blink twice, if you need help. They cannot stand me. But I'm like, it's okay. Like, he's literally the one editing the videos that he puts out. That y'all are like, why is he talking to you? Why are you talking to
The
him like that?
clips?
I'm like,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
editing all of this.
That's such a good thing about the internet.
He does
People
everything.
don't know.
At all.
There's a tweet, to Melissa's point, there's a tweet thread that is so funny to me. This guy tweets, imagine if he stayed, right? The person quote tweets him is like, oh, it's a woman. Imagine he would have left me alone from the jump. And the guy's like, who are you talking about? And I mean, the guy's like, who are you talking about? She's like, who are you talking about? He was like, Kawhi Leonard. Right? And that's the internet. This
Right.
man's watching a basketball game, watching the Raptors after Kawhi Leonard leaves, and they're like, man, imagine he would have stayed. They would have been a different team. And she's talking about her whole life, and he didn't tag her.
And that's
He
exactly what it is.
That's
and
the
that's what
internet
happens
in
on
a
the
nutshell.
internet.
That's
People,
hilarious.
they perceive, they project, they infer, they place themselves in,
Yes.
and they don't understand why you don't leave. Why
Yeah.
do you take that? And
Exactly.
What if I think it's funny?
Yeah.
What if I know that's the clip that's going to get more followers because we got to promote a live show?
Oh, come
Listen,
on, you.
at the end of the day,
Come on, you. Look at you.
it is a lot of it is entertainment, for
Yeah.
us as well.
People don't understand that. I think
Yeah.
they think we record 24 hours a day. And it's like there's a whole period of time where y'all don't see us be parents.
Right.
Y'all don't see us pay bills and make real life decisions.
Yeah.
Y'all don't see none of that. Y'all see what we give you.
Right.
And that's
It's
literally
provocative.
all
It
is.
gets people going.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
we give you the clip that we know you're going to
Yeah.
go crazy
And we
on.
cut it the right way.
1,000%.
There is a skill to it for sure.
Absolutely, there's a skill to it.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about, again, off you guys' viral clips.
Yeah.
A lot of virality is related to sex, right? And I was going over some last night, and Kristen, you said something that was really funny.
I'm so sorry.
Right, and it's this. Listen, we're all adults here. Might be vulgar to you if you say and you love the Lord, but people like this. Kristen said sometimes she swallows because she just doesn't want to do the cleanup. He got a vasectomy. She's like, if you busting me, I already peed. I got to go pee again. I don't want to do that. There's no cleanup. And I thought that is really funny because people don't understand, like a real marriage couple, sometimes it's practical stuff.
Yeah.
If I don't pee, then I can get a UTI. You got to pee. And not just pee.
That's not just marriage. That's relationship. Women, you need to be peeing after sex.
You need to pee.
Listen to me, okay? You need to be peeing.
You need to be peeing. And Kristen was like, she like, it's cold out in the world.
Sure
I
enough.
don't want to be. And I think sometimes, like, I didn't understand this because a lot of my idea of marriage, sex, I'd say 100% of it was either my friends or movies.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have a relationship with someone. So I'm thinking it's always going to be Hollywood. Sometimes it's just go ahead and get something real quick because I'm tired and I know it's been about 4 or 5
Oh
days.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
People don't want to think, because in movies, I've yet to see a scene where somebody gives a real, oh, it is Tuesday, ain't it? I did say that. All right, just please make it quick because I'm
Right.
tired,
gosh.
right? But that happens in relationships. We talked to our couple of friends. We always have a laugh about that because that's what it's like. So how did y'all get so comfortable with, like, getting into that honesty about sex?
For one, like we had one clip that was saying something about 30 minutes. I was like, 30 minutes is like, that's peak. Like that's great. That's a great amount of time. And they was like, only 30 minutes. And I'm like, what? I got everything I need. I do my 2 moves, I do my 1 hit quitters. I do those. And then we all right. Like, I think we got comfortable talking about it because this is probably the first relationship that I've been as open about sex. Like, and I've been in a couple. I ain't like not like you, but like I've been in a couple, and I've never felt like I've been able to express myself or even have full talks about it. It was just like something that you get in a relationship, you have sex, and you never talk about what you actually like, what you actually don't like, and we got so comfortable talking about it with each other and realized that, like, I didn't know there was somebody else like me that would want to express those things. So I was like, there's got to be other people out here that are the same way. So it was just, I don't know, like the people that gravitate towards it are are people.
It comes back to our communication.
Yeah.
Like we off camera, we were very open to our needs and wants. So when we got on camera, it was like, let's not change it up. Let's just be as open as possible.
Yeah. Was that unusual for you, Kristen, coming from relationships where you weren't able to talk about sex? Like, do you remember one of the first encounters where you were like, I'm going to just say something and see how he takes it?
Yeah. Probably the relationship before that. Like, I had mentioned
the one he
something.
stole you from and manipulated you?
Yeah, that one. It was that one. It was that one. He knew what he was doing. But I remember bringing up something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but bringing up something that I was like, maybe we should try this. And he was like, why? And I was like, okay, never mind. Like, and then I just left it alone after that. Like, I never thought to even talk things out. But he came in out the gate with just, hey, let's do this. I've done this also, like all these things. And I was like, oh, okay, like I'm comfortable talking to him about this. But just knowing that there was somebody else out there that thought like me, I was like, there's got to be other people out here that are like that. So,
Was there any intimidation from like his whole days? Were you ever like, oh, because we always talk about, there was.
Oh, yeah. It was a little bit.
What was that like?
Well, one girl that he like I knew her and I was like around her, and at the time I didn't know anything about it.
Now he's sick.
Now you gotta cough. Exactly.
Now he ain't coughing.
He over here with COVID now.
Now he's sick.
Yeah.
He pushing the microwave now.
Oh, now you okay?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Because I was around her. And I was like, I see how close he keeps these people. So now I do feel a little intimidated because I'm like, how many other ones are there? Because I was around this girl for a while and we were talking and he was doing other stuff and I had no idea. So that was, I guess it was more like, I don't know, like he's really good at hiding this. I don't know how many others he's hiding. I don't know where they at. If they in the laundry basket, the closet, I don't know where they are. After I got over and like kind of, a lot of it was I wasn't confident in myself too at that time. And that's a real story. A lot of people don't talk about that, but I wasn't confident in myself. I came out of a relationship where I wasn't that confident, and I got with somebody that knew everybody, and I had to kind of build that within me. I feel like I'm rambling a lot.
No,
Yeah,
you're good.
that's
You're good.
very clear.
Yeah, it was
How
good.
does that? You were wincing, J-Rod. What was that like to hear or to experience?
So the funny part was when we had reconnected again, I was trying to, like I said, tie up some loose ends and really just.
That is the cutest way to put it.
It
What
was.
you mean?
I appreciated it.
I was gonna let you rock, Jay. I was letting you rock.
When you
They
said
weren't
it, I
letting you
clapped.
rock.
No, I did clap. I said that's good.
I was really trying to do that, and
Tell us again. You was trying to do what?
tie up the loose ends.
Your tone even changed when you said it the second
You
time.
You know I was
Yeah.
trying to tie up some loose ends, quarterly figures in return.
Yeah,
Things of that nature.
and some earnings were a little extra. So it was a really weird period because I was in the process of breaking up with the person or two. Yeah.
It was two.
It was two.
Yeah, it was two.
It was two. In the process of breaking up with them, but I was really seeing where this was going at the same time.
Yeah.
We were still friends for the most part, but I knew right off that I had feelings for her. So it was awkward. It was awkward for me in those situations because I wasn't
For
trying.
you? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I didn't want to.
That's crazy.
I didn't want to be in this relationship the same way I was in other relationships.
Come on, talk about
I'm
it.
curious about that. So, like, I will say the media, patriarchy, it kind of elevates men hoeing around. Right. You the man. I mean, that's you. When I was a kid, you aspired to that. What made you decide, like, I don't really want to do that anymore? Like, were you in the middle of coochie and being like, it just doesn't feel the same?
It's
Was
not
it the
fun.
friendship that was lacking? Like, was it that you had that?
I mean, it was a couple of things. One, I wanted to be taken seriously, and I feel like as a man, if you're going to be taken seriously, you need to treat everything in your life seriously in some kind of way.
Okay.
So your relationship should follow the same way. Also, the last relationships that I did have before her, there were strong friendships involved in those, and I didn't want to treat them wrong because we had friendships.
Got it.
And I unfortunately was doing that because I hadn't matured enough relationship wise to really carry those situations the way I should have.
Yeah.
You know. So so you know, it was me trying to have a clean slate with her and really present the person I wanted to be as much as the person that I felt like she deserved.
One of the things I was going to say, given, everything that you guys have said, this is actually like a really sweet love story. It's really there.
Okay.
I
yeah.
know. If you really listen,
I know.
I listen to
Under the sex and the pain, there's beauty there, too.
No, and there really is. It really is sweet. How do you know? How do you decide what happens for you? What happens for you that you say, this is my person? When you've had the past that you're talking about, yes, I understand I'm going to phrase it. I'm going to paint the picture a little bit.
Paint the picture, baby.
I understand.
Picasso. I like it.
Yes, Picasso, yes. I understand that you're saying like there's a lot of like external factors that
Yeah.
allow for this moment to happen almost very serendipitously.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, I said it correctly.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll stumble over a word in a heartbeat. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that the right person's going to enter your life
Yeah.
at that moment.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
you're also making a choice. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So how, with everything that's happening, you said you had other relationships, like there was friendship there, but like, Loki, I was still doing them wrong. And then you decide to like clean slate, cut everybody off, and this is going to be like, I'm choosing you. And I don't mean it like that, but I'm choosing you and I am changing because this is worth that.
You've talked about this before, where you felt like it wasn't about changing for somebody else.
Yeah. I like I said, I just wanted to be somebody different.
Yeah.
Like you live that life and you see how you do other people wrong, and you just look at the things in your life and you're like, why don't I have this? Why am I not being looked at like this? And you really see it's about yourself. So, I got lucky. When I made that change, or when I was in the process of making that change, she was right there. And that's why I was so appreciative of her, because she was with me walking through those steps as I was going through it. But yeah, it was luck. It was, as you said, Sarah. I was going to stumble.
Oh, yep, I know.
I'm a stumble.
We understood the word. I know what you meant. I know what
you
you meant.
You knew what you said.
I don't even know if I could put a finger on what it was exactly, but I know one big thing for me was the way that he took care of my daughter. That's a huge thing for me. So I came in with the daughter, he came in with the son, and then we had kids after that. But like, I was in a relationship for 7 years prior to that. And my daughter is 14, and it did not feel like there was a future with all of us included. And he came in immediately and treated me with respect, treated my family with respect. And I knew, like, I liked him, but the deciding factor was watching him interact with my daughter, watching him want to take care of her, like, and what she thought of him. That was a big thing for me. But I don't know. I think that might have been part of it, but I can't even put a finger on it. I feel lucky I don't like giving you compliments in your face. It's a weird, but I felt.
She caught the word that they were escaping.
Nope.
I feel a lot. Nope.
Take it back. But I felt like that too. I don't think it was one thing, but that was a big factor.
All right, let's take a break right here and hear from our sponsors, if we have them at this moment. Appreciate y'all to our sponsors. Shout out to y'all. God bless y'all. So on that note, right, you guys have a blended family. And one of the chapters in the book is Parenting Be Hard. Yes. Talk to us about blending a family and then having having children together.
I think with me it was different because I raised my daughter by myself. So there was never really another factor. So it was just I guess, me making those decisions on who should be around my child. I was always very protective of my child. And like I said, like him coming in and just immediately wanting to take care of her was a big thing for me. And I'm also part of a blended family. Like, my father came into my life when I was 6. And he's never, like, if you didn't know us, you would have no idea that he wasn't my biological father. And I've always gone into it like, this is my child. There's no step. There's no nothing. And that's kind of the way I took in our son. Like, I was like, okay, these are kids. I got to take care of. These are my kids. I got to, make money, take care of these kids, make sure they all right, they fed, they healthy. You know what I mean? That's how it felt for me. Like, it was just, okay, yeah.
And listen, once they start getting on your nerves,
It's all the same.
yeah, it's you there.
Yeah.
You there.
Yeah, they're all the same child.
Yeah.
But then having kids, it was just kind of crazy that we ended up having twins.
Yeah.
Like, we balanced out all the children. Like, and everybody, it was easy. It wasn't difficult at all for me.
Yeah.
What are the ages of your kids?
I was just going to ask that.
14 girl, 12 boy, and 4-year-old twin boys.
Ooh.
So
We in the thick of it.
It was probably scary for you coming in with a teenage girl or a girl.
Yeah, because I ain't know what to do with that.
Right.
What do you do with that?
Yeah.
You just see them grow, and it's like, I don't like that. What do you do with this? And I'm still there, but
I mean, I'm there too. It's cool.
yeah, you just what is this? And you try. You just try.
You just sound like you're going through something right now.
I am. You
I
don't
know.
understand?
Oh no, I talked to her this morning. I understand. But
Were the kids easily transitioned in?
yeah,
Yes.
they all. Oh my gosh,
From the moment.
they
Really?
loved
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, and then
My-
when they started arguing, it was like, oh, y'all there.
Y'all there,
Yeah,
y'all in it.
Yeah,
Mm.
it was.
Yeah, my daughter loved it. Like, she always wanted a younger sibling. I was like, that's probably not gonna happen. And then I was like, oh, we got one. Look at us. And we thought we was just gonna stop with them two, but
Yeah,
And
unfortunately,
then twins came.
God is
yeah.
crazy.
That was her
Crazy?
fault,
Wow.
man.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So let me make sure my math is right. 5 years married, or 6 or 7.
It's in
In
there.
there,
I
in
think
there.
you know better
Somewhere
than we do.
in
I
the
think
middle.
at this point.
Somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere. So we go,
6.5.
yeah, we'll settle on 6.
Yeah.
We'll settle on 6.
Yeah.
And that means that quarantine happened about year 3-ish.
Yeah, 2, 3-ish. Yeah.
Okay, 2,
Quarantine started
3-ish.
3 years ago.
Yes, that's why I'm trying to do this math.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
really,
God.
we've been married like 12 years for real.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Quarantine
yeah.
exponential.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
God.
quarantine saved
That-
our marriage, though.
So let's
Saved
talk
your
about
marriage.
it.
Yeah, quarantine saved our marriage.
We have a chapter in the book called Quarantine Be Hard.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your quarantine experience. Paint the picture. You're 2 years married. Are you pregnant?
No.
Are the kids around?
The kids are here now.
Okay.
All 4 of them
All
are
4
here.
kids are there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a preteen,
Mhm.
a pre-preteen.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one.
And then like a
And then baby
toddler.
babies.
Yeah.
Infant.
Infant.
Well, no, not infant.
Because
But
they're
what's-
4 now.
they're
Oh
one.
no, so they're probably 1.
Yeah.
They're toddlers.
Yeah. So it was.
Child, paint this picture.
Yes.
We were all. I think Kristen and I were just at a point where we were just struggling to be heard by each other, and that just didn't.
Yeah, it was. I was. So I went through a period where I got super depressed. I had anxiety. Look at me getting deep. That's weird. I don't get
on.
deep.
Yeah.
I don't get deep. I don't.
It's okay. Don't
I
throw no
have
jokes
this
in there
effective
either.
people.
Don't throw no jokes in there.
That's
It's
a
my
challenge.
favorite
You go-
thing to do.
Oh, you get
I
deep?
love good deep
Okay, great.
conversations.
All right, cool.
Yeah, she gonna be crying and go.
I know.
That ain't gonna go viral on Well
I'm
Start.
not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you do that to me. So I got diagnosed with ADHD, major depressive disorder, and anxiety disorder, like all this stuff prior to COVID, and COVID kind of increased it. And then I kind of went through, and I don't really talk about this. I guess I do. I kind of went through like a opioid thing in quarantine. So I started coming off of them, and I was going through a lot coming off of them. And he had to deal with that while we were locked in the house with just us. Like, I was having panic attacks. I went to the hospital a couple times. Like, it was a lot of stuff that was going on. And my mood was all over the place because I guess when you come off of them, it kind of shifts your mood. So there were a lot of times where I felt like he was about to leave. Like his mother talked him through it, talked me through it. Like it was, and we had to deal with all of that while we were just locked in the house with new kids, with older kids adjusting to school, and they can't go see their friends. Like all of that stuff happened in quarantine, and I think it forced us to just have conversations we wouldn't have had before that.
Yeah, and it almost, because a lot of it started like right before quarantine. A lot of the issues that we were having.
So you could have left then, and you was like, "Dang, they gotta keep us in the house."
Yeah, exactly. I was ready, and then it was like, "No,
I'm
you can't
sorry,
go
I
nowhere."
didn't mean that joke. Yeah.
Because I was dealing with some mental health issues as well, and I got on medication. She was getting off of the medication, and it was just like, okay, we can talk, and being around each other so much with the world just stopping, it really forced us to see what we liked about each other again. And that's where I say it really saved us, because it was out, my friend is back. You know, we buddy again. We're not arguing as much. And
there were a lot of fights.
Yeah.
There were a lot of fights just from all of that stuff that was going on.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a lesson learned, but couldn't have done it without it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think one of the benefits about quarantine, at least for us, we were just talking about this. I use this analogy a lot. I know you guys are 5 years in, or five, 6, 7 years in, but regardless, when time passes, there's enough time to have stuff build up. Okay, whether it's 6 months or 6 years, that's enough time for things to build up. And for us, by the time quarantine came around, we were married for 16. I'm about to do the same thing. 15, 16, 17 years.
7 to 16.
16, 15.
2020.
I'm trying to do math. If 20 is next year, that's 24.
Well, we got
minus
married
4,
2004
16.
plus 16, but you carry the coefficient.
I think it's 16.
I love how this is happening.
16 years.
16. I'm gonna go 16 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
fun.
16 years, married for 16, which probably means we were together for 18. 19. That don't seem right.
No, 20, because we started dating in 2000.
Yeah.
Quarantine is 2020. So
Okay, that math.
20
Okay.
Okay.
So right.
I'm just confident that we are the only ones that don't do math. Like,
math with years is hard, because you'd be
girl.
like,
I know.
how you get to,
You should.
calendar
The
years
easiest
plus-
way to do it: start your relationship on the 5 or a zebra.
Yes.
If y'all miss 5, you gotta pick it up at the next zero.
Exactly.
You can't get married in
I see you in number 5.
1997.
Yes.
I see you in the next 5. We had 2005 was right there. We like, nah, 2004.
Yes, before marriage. The point is, don't 1, 3, 5, especially if you get a 7, child,
Yeah, I'm
forget it.
out.
Pull out your calculator.
I'm out of here. Talk on 7 minus 25. What this is?
You pull
Prime
a 7.
numbers?
Yes.
Prime numbers.
Anybody got time for that?
That's funny.
So anyway, we were together obviously for 20 years then.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time.
Obviously.
Yeah. We figured that out, so now it's very obvious. So it was a lot of time, okay, and a lot of stuff happens by this time.
Yeah.
We have, we've been together since high school. So you have stuff that happened in high school that you didn't realize was an issue. You have children. You have job transitions. We physically move from one place to the other. We start the business of KevOnStage. Quits his job. I quit my job. We're trying to work together, which is ghetto. I still don't recommend that all the time.
That's stupid.
Yeah. All of those things are happening. And now, boom, COVID happens. The thing about COVID is that the busyness of life, going to get your nails done, going to get your hair done, going to pick up the kids, going over here. He's traveling, so he's out of town this weekend. All of those things prevent you from dealing with an elephant
Exactly.
that shows up at the dinner table every single night with you. But you just serve them a plate.
Yes.
As long as you be quiet over there, we
Yeah,
gonna be good.
we good.
Yes.
Here's your plate. Shut up. And then you keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quarantine, the elephant was like,
Y'all ain't going nowhere. We might as well have the conversation then. This big L up in this hole. What's up? Y'all ain't talking 4 days. It's thick in here. Tension thick in here, ain't it? You don't even cook. He sneezed. You ain't even bless him. Wow. He can't get blessed now. He can't get blessed.
Oh man.
That's when you know you're bad. Like, achoo. Oh,
Nothing?
this nigga really ain't gonna bless me. You really ain't gonna bless me?
Yeah.
You ain't hear
Yeah.
I could have died.
That's so crazy. My parents have been married for 32 years, and my father has been in the Navy and then went immediately to being a truck driver. He just retired this year. They don't know what the to do with each other. And I'm sorry I said that, but they don't know. They just out here like, oh, I guess he here. He just finding stuff to do.
Yo, he goes outside for like 4 hours a day.
He always washing the dishes. Like, like there's nothing. It's one thing in there. I had yogurt. It's a spoon. Like he's always like they don't know what to
That's
do.
a new relationship, though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
is, and
It's
that's
the
what
same.
to the quarantine. That is such a big thing. It's a new relationship.
Yeah.
Having a kid that's a new relationship. Building a business together. I don't think I ever thought of it like this. This is a new relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You as a business partner, I have never done that with you.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't
Because
work
typically,
together.
I go to
Yeah.
work, you go to work.
Exactly.
At my job, I do this. These people report to me. I report to them. At your job, you do this. Now we report to each other. Who the boss?
And first of all, ain't no reporting to nobody. So first of all, that's where you're wrong. That's why we're
You
having
see,
issues.
I said we report to each other. She couldn't even. They wouldn't even even.
Listen.
I
Y'all
don't
still
report to
ain't at
you
the
at
same
all.
job. I don't know where y'all still ain't at the same job. No. I know what I do when I go to work, and it ain't. I don't care who name on this studio. Oh my God, no, that's great.
Yeah, I think that is what is it. You know, a lot of people lost their marriages in quarantine, but those of us who are able to come out on the other side, I do think it was an opportunity for us to like check what was underneath the hood.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quarantine prevented you from moving at the status quo level. And I think a lot of relationships last for a long time off of just routine.
Yes.
Right? Like I don't realize when I'm on the road, I get my own time.
Yeah.
I watch The Office. I don't have to clean, whatever. I didn't even think about it like that. I'm just on the road. She's at home. She gets hang out with her friends more often, get her nails done, get her hair done. Now we just in here.
Just doing
Hello.
us together.
You know, so it's like you really got to really check that. But I think had we not gone through that, the elephant was going to come out sooner or later.
Oh,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? You know, it was never going to go fully away.
And the biggest thing is you probably wouldn't have had the time
100%.
to really take care of that elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because you just, well, I'm finna go anyway.
right, exactly.
I got a flight tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's 11:59. I'm on that red eye to Atlanta pretty much every time. But quarantine, like the flight was like, no, you can go and sit up in there, huh?
You good?
You
We
good,
gonna
ain't it?
talk about
And
this.
we're going to talk about it.
Cause I was good for cutting stuff off and just be like, I'm gonna just go and I'm gonna find something to do with myself so we can like not think about what we just argued about. But you can't go in them. It's not that many rooms.
Yeah.
It's not,
And she was
it's
afraid.
not.
She was afraid of everything, so she didn't want to go outside anyway. So
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
take one more quick break. All right, shout out to y'all sponsors. We're back. One thing I'm curious about, you guys have a successful podcast and you have a successful live podcast business. So you guys work together, right? Very few relationships are people who are entrepreneurs in the same business. What is that like for y'all to run a business together? Because it can be a struggle.
Working together be hard.
Man, there's your heart too.
It's a lot. Well, for one, so I was always going on the road and doing stand up by myself. So I'm used to being on stage by myself. So now I'm pulling him into kind of my world, but it's also his world because he created the podcast.
Yeah.
And we're bumping heads on jokes and clips and all that stuff. So we had to kind of just adapt to whatever our style was.
yeah, knowing each other and knowing what our strengths were. I know for me it was listening, like because
Oh, absolutely.
when calm down.
No, I was you know, you listened. Though. You heard me say that. That's crazy.
But yeah, it was definitely listening because I can get when I'm passionate about something, I can just get in it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to hear other things. Even when they're positive, it's like, nah, I don't really want to hear that. I want to see it for myself. But I realized where her strengths were, and I realized that I got to listen to those strengths because that's, it's kind of why I married her. It's kind of why it's my partner because, we balance each other. So it's finding that balancing,
It's
what's going to
definitely- yeah.
balance you. Yeah.
Listening is the biggest thing. But that's something we learned in COVID too. The business got better after COVID.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Talked a lot of stuff out.
I had nothing else.
He was like, you about to.
Yeah, I was just curious because Melissa and I, it was a little more difficult for us, I believe, because I was in this world already, and she was more so migrating from a totally different world.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
9 to 5. I mean, I worked a 9 to 5, but I never was a good employee. I was always just doing enough to go do stand up or make videos or whatever.
Yeah.
Melissa, had I not blown up, or Melissa would have worked a 9 to 5 forever and never been tripping. So she never saw this for herself, right? This business. I always saw for myself. So it's like that dream is like shifting in real time. You know what I'm saying? Like she had a job that laid her off. And I don't know, how long you think you would have worked there if they didn't lay you off?
I would still be working at Duke's Aerospace right now.
Look at you naming it. That's how I
Because there are no more. They laid us off because the business was closing.
Oh, okay. How did you feel about coming into this world?
Oh, it was the scariest thing I've ever done in my entire life because I am, number one, I don't mind getting up and clocking into work. Entrepreneurship was never like a vision that I had for myself. But in addition, we were just talking about this actually. We go to marriage therapy. Highly recommend if you guys aren't in it. Definitely highly recommend. But we were just talking about this in therapy. The thing about a job, it comes with a job description. And because I am a rule follower and I very much like check marks, like I've tried to do to-do lists on my phone. It's just not the same satisfaction as like writing it out and being able to like cross it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is just like an accomplishment. Okay. Mission unlocked. It's my favorite. And so with entrepreneurship, there isn't a job description. There isn't this is the outline. Like you actually have to create business. Otherwise, you could very easily stay at home and watch Netflix all day or do nothing. You know what I mean? So you have to be constantly creating and finding things to do. And for some people, they thrive off that. And I'm one of those people that's just kind of like, so what I would prefer is to go on Indeed with the job description already there. And then I say, these are my skills. This matches.
You give me the money.
I should apply.
Yes.
It just works very well for me in my life. And so that was part of it. And then finding the confidence to do this, a podcast. Finding the confidence to be on screen, which still isn't my favorite thing. Having a Instagram audience and trying to find. And then the other part about it is the rejection piece. You know,
unnatural.
Yeah,
in the
unnatural
industry.
amount of rejection, and you still have to forge through. Like you have to have that internal will. I decided to do some things differently this year, and about a week and a half in, I was like, Kevin, I need you to tell me to keep going. I need, like legit. I need you to tell me to keep going because I don't want to do this no more. There's no cross off because tomorrow's coming. You have to do the same
There's
thing.
no one-on-one. There's no progress report. There's nothing.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that's what I love and enjoy about like my bosses loved me.
I was an amazing.
I was an amazing employee.
I love that.
This, I'm like, yeah, this for the birds.
No, I think that's one thing that attracted me to him too, because the relationships that I had been in before did not understand anything about stand-up. They didn't understand that I had to go to a club to maybe get up or get seen or network the ways that we had to network. Like, I like the fact that he was just like a fly-by-night creative. And that don't really sound stable, but he could understand what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I worked 9 to 5s too, and I was okay with not having to figure out what I was supposed to do and somebody telling me. Like that, there's nothing wrong with that either. I was cool with like this is the list, and I got to do all these things, and I'll be done. Like I'm okay with that.
And collect a check in 2 weeks.
Oh my God,
Consider it done.
guaranteed check.
Man.
Oh, listen to me.
Absolutely.
With 401k and benefits.
What?
I remember the first Friday week we're in LA and that direct deposit didn't hit. And I was just like, so y'all just not gonna pay us because we don't work. After all we've been through, y'all just not gonna slide us a little something for the last couple of years we dedicated our life to y'all because we want to move to LA and chase our dreams. Y'all ain't gonna slide us a little nothing. That bank account did not change on Thursday night. It was the same. I was like, wow.
That's great.
Y'all petty for that. Y'all petty for that. Gonna make me work to give me a little check. Funky little job.
That's funny.
Are you guys both full-time entrepreneurs right now?
Yes.
How is it?
I love it. I've been almost 10 years now, full-time entrepreneur. And I always had that vision for her when I met her. It was like, oh, you're great at comedy. that needs to be what you're working on
I
constantly.
was doing stand-up and insurance for a while.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, it's whole benefits. Like here, they're whole. Like I just don't have to depend on nobody. But like I was used to being a single mom, so I needed I was used to having
That
a steady
stability.
check and knowing. So I was scared. I was very scared.
When did you come off your job?
When she got fired,
I didn't get.
You got fired?
I didn't get fired.
she got fired.
I didn't get fired. No, what was it? Had something to do with stand-up.
No, you got fired.
Okay. Okay.
She got fired. I was
thought-
in LA at the time.
Oh no, that's what I put in my 2 weeks, and they got me before the 2 weeks was up.
and they got me? And they got me?
No, I came in. It was a box.
Was
I
it
put-
2 weeks
I put
or
in my 2 weeks. They got me like 3 days.
she
in.
was pregnant at the time?
Yeah, 3 days into my
Yeah,
2 weeks.
yeah.
They
Why
was
would
like,
they fire you for
I don't know. I
already
found
Because they didn't
something that
like
you
her.
did.
They didn't like her anyway. It was.
They knew when I started working that job that I did stand up also, and I think they just wanted me to stay there, and so that was part of it. But I mean, I got fired. Right.
They didn't fire me. I quit,
Yeah,
but
no,
then
it's
they
fine.
had fired me first.
It was my decision to leave anyway.
Oh, man.
I was gonna leave regardless. Don't do me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just have a really quick question. And that is, you guys seem, I don't know if you guys realize it, but you have tenets of your relationship.
Yes.
Could you share them with the audience? I've heard a couple, but I'll let y'all.
You know, I graduated college, but I don't know if I really know what you want me to give you right now.
Meaning, like, what are the pillars of your relationship?
Ooh,
I
that-
knew exactly
I
what
know
it
what
was.
a pillar
And
is.
I went to
Okay.
hair school. I don't even know why you didn't know.
So, said tenant. That's Denzel Washington's son movie. I seen it once. I didn't know it was plural. I didn't know it was plural. What happened to that to do with time?
So
man.
you want to go?
You go. You go.
Like the things that we follow, or the bigger the bigger points of our
yeah, go to
relationship.
hair
Yeah.
school.
They go to hair school.
I'll give you one that
I
I've
hate
picked
you.
up.
I hate
Okay.
you.
That may, okay, it seems to me that communication
Damn it,
is
you took
the.
mine.
God,
That's
You
the only
should've
one
just
he knew.
said it.
That's the only one he knew.
you should have said
He
it.
had to figure out what tennis meant.
I
was
want to
trying
make
give
sure.
him-
I was like, if this is what I think it means.
I was trying to let you be the
Okay,
man
go
and
off on
lead.
it. Go off on it. dude.
No, communication is super strong for us. It is what we guide our relationship off of. It's how we make sure that everything in our relationship, whether it's the business, the kids, the just us and our romantic love story, is going well. It's through the communication. So yeah,
I
big
think
one.
respect is a big one. We both respect each other. We try not to put each other down. I mean, I'm very sarcastic, so he might be put down. I don't know, but we try to respect each other. Like respect each other's opinions, hear each other out. Part of communication, but I think respect is a huge, huge thing.
I think love is a
It's-
big one too.
Is it?
I think.
I don't know. I'm sorry. No, it's cool. It's there. It's there.
You
No,
know,
it's there.
Definitely
No,
there.
it's there.
It's definitely there.
I think respect and communication is the biggest one.
Yeah.
Communication is what we built everything off of.
That's
The-
what it sounded
the
like.
job, the just getting through mental health
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Everything. Yeah. With our kids, like that's the biggest thing.
Trust is huge.
I had to build that.
Yeah, for both of us, because I can trust. It's that trust fall thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can just let back, and I know she got me, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And having that makes it everything else in your life so much easier. Yeah,
Definitely didn't go into it with that though. That was something that definitely had to be. It was built during COVID. Everything was built during COVID.
Yeah.
I think. Like yeah.
I mean, congratulations to you guys for being able to come out on the other side of COVID and
Yeah.
this. Again, everyone did make it out of COVID, but those of us who did, it really was a gift.
Yeah.
If you were able to find what it was offering you, then it really became a gift.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we would have survived if we did not have COVID. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I was on the verge. We were both on the verge of just being like, we don't have to do this.
The cool part about the podcast is that you can actually hear that throughout the. Like if you just listen to from beginning.
It wasn't cool.
Well, I think it's cool because you can really see our relationship is that real and organic.
Yeah.
Like there were episodes where we started off as going to be one of those episodes.
Yeah.
Right.
Because before the end of this episode, you're going to hear an argument.
Yeah.
And we're not cutting it out because I'm not editing it.
Because I don't know how to edit. That's the only problem. I don't know how to do nothing. I'm like, I got to trust you to get that out of there. Huh?
That's so
my
funny.
God.
Last question, because I want people to go out and listen to your podcast separately. Please give us your favorite podcast episode and why.
Oh my gosh. Oh God, I was not prepared for that one. I know it's another one, but Stay Out the Comments was probably my favorite one because I got a lot of stuff off my chest on that episode. That's when everything happened. That's when I was trying to adjust to what was going on. I got a lot of stuff off my chest, and it was also funny. But I think that was probably mine.
I don't know if I have a favorite. The last episode,
Mm-hmm.
Each time we record, it's something new for us. The structure might be there, but it's still a new experience. We're talking about new feelings that we have. So yeah, that last episode,
I love it. All right. Tell the people where they can find you on the social medias.
Oh, okay. My Instagram is Kristen Seville's. And our joint Instagram is, and then we had sex, and then you're on Facebook and all that. I don't really have
my Instagram is at JTalk100, and my Facebook is J Anthony Tanner.
And my Twitter is Kristen Seville's, so it's real easy, straight across the board.
Very good. Thank you guys so much for joining us on today's episode of Marriage Be Hard Conversations. I'm Melissa.
Kevin.
This is Kevin, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Bye.